Most men won't admit this out loud, but if you've ever finished too fast and felt that sting of embarrassment hit you right after, you are not alone. And what if I told you there's one simple action men are trying at home because they believe it can slow them down in bed? Something as basic as putting toothpaste on the tip of the penis right before intimacy. And yes, they think it works. Sounds crazy, right? But wait, before you laugh or judge, I want you to stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you is actually more complicated than you think. And yes, for some men, this hack does change the timing. But the real question is, does it actually help? Or is it quietly making things worse for you without you realizing it? Hi, I'm Dr. Amelia Hayes. I'm a board-certified urologist, and I've spent years helping men deal with performance issues, confidence issues, and every form of premature ejaculation imaginable. And let me tell you this. Nothing destroys a man's confidence faster than losing control too early. Not because he's weak, not because he's bad in bed, but because his nerves, his circulation, and his arousal pathways are firing too fast and too strong for his body to keep up. So men try anything. Breathing tricks, lotions, numbing sprays, and yes, even toothpaste. But here's the part no one is telling you. Why does toothpaste feel like it works? Why do thousands of men swear that it temporarily delays climax? What ingredient inside it actually affects your nerves? And is it safe? I'll break down the real science behind it, the risks nobody talks about, and most importantly, how to prevent premature ejaculation without relying on something that was never designed for your skin down there. And listen carefully, because the most important truth, the thing every man needs to hear, is waiting at the end of this video.
Before we talk about toothpaste, you first need to understand why premature ejaculation happens in the first place. Because once you know the mechanism, everything suddenly makes sense, including why some men think toothpaste helps. Most men believe they finish too fast because they're too excited or not experienced enough. But that's not the full story. Premature ejaculation is almost always tied to the way your nervous system, your circulation, and your hormonal signals respond during arousal. Let me break it down in a simple way. Your penis is covered in thousands of hypersensitive nerve endings. These nerves send signals straight to your brain through the sympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for fight or flight when you're stressed, nervous, pressured, or even subconsciously worried about performance. This system fires too quickly, and your body responds before you're actually ready. At the same time, your pelvic floor muscles tighten. Blood flow accelerates, and your brain hits the trigger point much faster than it should. That's why ejaculation can happen before penetration, or within just a few seconds after. Now here's where it gets interesting. If the nerves at the tip of your penis become less sensitive, your brain receives fewer signals, meaning the trigger point is harder to reach. This is the exact reason why numbing sprays work, and the exact reason why some men think toothpaste might do the same thing. Menthol, mint, and certain cleaning agents create a cooling, tingling, slightly numbing sensation. To some men, that feels like a miracle fix, a quick way to reduce sensitivity without a prescription. But here's the catch: just because something can reduce sensation doesn't mean it's safe. And it definitely doesn't mean it's a real solution. And here's something even more important. Premature ejaculation is rarely just about sensitivity. It's about your nervous system, your blood flow, your hormones, your mental state, and your control over arousal. Which leads to the next big question: if toothpaste numbs the skin, what exactly is happening on a chemical level? And why do so many men swear it works, even if only for a few minutes? Let's dig deeper into that, because understanding this part is the key to knowing whether this method is worth trying at all. So let's finally talk about it. Why on earth do some men feel like toothpaste can slow them down in bed? What's actually happening when you put it on the most sensitive part of your body? Here's the truth, broken down in the simplest way possible. Toothpaste contains menthol, mint oils, and certain cleaning compounds designed for your mouth, not for thin, delicate genital skin. But when these ingredients touch the glands, the head of the penis, they create a cooling, tingling sensation. For some men, that sensation feels like numbness. And when the nerves become slightly overwhelmed or irritated, they can stop sending signals as strongly or as quickly to the brain. And that, at least temporarily, can make ejaculation take a bit longer. Think of it like holding an ice pack against your skin. At first, it's cold. Then it burns. Then it goes numb. That exact pattern is why some men believe this works. Multiply that by the fact that the glans penis has one of the highest concentrations of sensory receptors in the entire body. Any change, cooling, warming, irritation, can strongly affect sensitivity. But here's the thing most people miss: this numbing effect is not stable. It's not consistent, and it's not medically controlled. Unlike clinical numbing sprays that use precise, safe concentrations of lidocaine or prilocaine, toothpaste is unpredictable. Different brands contain different chemicals. Some have more menthol. Some have abrasives. Some have whitening agents that should never, ever touch genital tissue, and your skin down there is far more absorbent than the skin on your arm or your face. So even a small amount can create a much stronger reaction than you expect. That's why some men say it works, while others experience burning, irritation, or straight-up pain within seconds. So yes, technically, there is a reason this trick appears to delay ejaculation. It's not magic, it's not a miracle hack, it's just nerve overload. But before you think this is a solution, you need to understand what happens when those same ingredients go beyond just tingling and start causing damage. Because the part you're about to hear is where things get dangerous, and honestly, this is the part no one talks about. Now, this is the part most men never hear about. Because while toothpaste can create a short, temporary numbing effect, the exact same ingredients that make it feel cool or tingly can also cause real, painful damage when used on the wrong type of skin. Let me explain this clearly as your doctor. The skin on the glans penis is not like the skin on your face or your hands. It's thin, it's highly absorbent, and it was never meant to come into contact with harsh cleaning agents, whitening particles, or mouth-grade disinfectants. When you rub toothpaste down there, you're exposing yourself to menthol and mint oils that can irritate nerve endings, abrasive particles designed to polish enamel, foaming chemicals that disrupt delicate skin barriers, fluoride compounds that can be toxic to reproductive tissue, parabens, and preservatives that can inflame mucosal surfaces. This is why many men who try the trick don't just feel cooling, they feel burning, stinging, redness, even peeling. And that irritation is not harmless when the skin gets inflamed. The body responds by tightening blood vessels, increasing sensitivity, and triggering pain pathways. This means the very thing you're trying to fix, sensitivity and loss of control, can eventually get worse. And if you're planning to be intimate afterward, here's another problem. Anything left on your skin goes directly into your partner's body. Toothpaste inside the vagina throws off the natural pH, kills protective bacteria, and triggers yeast infections or irritation almost instantly. Many women experience burning or swelling, and they don't understand why. But the cause is a residue from that quick fix. And there's one more thing men absolutely need to know. Fluoride, the ingredient designed to strengthen teeth, has been shown in some studies to negatively affect sperm quality when it comes into direct contact with reproductive tissue. I've seen men who use this trick often develop more sensitivity problems, delayed healing, and even decreased libido over time. So yes, it works because it irritates and overwhelms the nerves, but irritation is not treatment, and damage is not delay. But here's the important part: just because it's risky doesn't mean you can never use anything to reduce sensitivity. It only means toothpaste is the wrong choice. So let me show you when a desensitizing method can help and how to do it safely, without harming yourself or your partner. Here's where things get real, because I know what you're thinking. If toothpaste is dangerous, does that mean I can never use anything to reduce sensitivity? And the answer is you can. You absolutely can. But you need to do it the right way. And you need to understand why this entire topic isn't as black and white as people make it seem. So let me say this clearly as a doctor who has treated thousands of men. Toothpaste is not a treatment, but the idea behind it, reducing sensitivity to delay ejaculation, does have scientific logic. And that's exactly why some men feel tempted to try anything when they're desperate for control. The problem isn't the intention, it's the method. Because here's the truth you won't hear online: in extremely rare situations, a mild numbing effect can actually help a man reset his timing and confidence. Some men just need those extra few minutes to calm their nervous system down and stop the rush to the finish feeling. So yes, technically, the sensation that toothpaste gives is the same category of effect as a professional desensitizing gel, just uncontrolled and safe and unpredictable. But does that mean you should never reduce sensation? No. It simply means you should avoid doing it with household products that were never meant for sensitive genital tissue. If you're the type of man who wants to experiment with reducing sensitivity just a bit, there are safer ways: a small amount of lidocaine-based cream, a mild desensitizing spray, or even cooling lubricants designed specifically for genital use. These products have controlled formulas, known effects, and don't damage your skin or your partner's health. And here's the key: no matter what method you use, including desensitizing sprays, it should never be done too often. If you rely on it every single time, your nerves can become irritated, your arousal response can drop, and you can actually make the problem harder to treat later. So yes, I understand why men try toothpaste. I understand the frustration, the embarrassment, the pressure to perform. But there are safer ways to achieve the same effect without risking long-term damage. And in the next part, I'm going to show you the real, scientifically proven methods that help men regain control, not just for a few minutes, but for the long run. Now, let's talk about solutions that actually work, scientifically proven, safe for your skin, and effective for long-term control because while numbing the nerves can help a little, true improvement comes from addressing what's happening inside your body. First, let's talk about topical options. There are desensitizing sprays that use low-dose lidocaine or prilocaine. These are made specifically for genital skin, meaning they don't burn, don't irritate, and don't damage tissue the way toothpaste can when used occasionally. They give you just enough reduced sensitivity to buy a few minutes without compromising pleasure or safety, and the best part, they're predictable and medically tested. But that's just a surface-level solution. If you want long-lasting results, you need to work with your body, not against it. Most premature ejaculation comes from a combination of overactive nerves, poor pelvic floor control, rushed arousal, and inconsistent blood flow. So here's where the real progress begins. Pelvic floor training. Yes, the same muscles involved in stopping urine can improve ejaculation control far more than most men realize. Simple exercises like Kegels, reverse Kegels, and the start-stop technique train your pelvic muscles to relax instead of tighten during stimulation. Over time, that alone can add minutes to your performance. Next is circulation. Healthy erections depend on nitric oxide, blood flow, and vascular elasticity. Supplements like L-citrulline, arginine, zinc, and vitamin D support nitric oxide production and help the body maintain stronger, more controlled erections. When your blood flow is steady, your arousal signals become more stable and less explosive. And then there's lifestyle. Stress is one of the strongest triggers for early ejaculation. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between anxiety and arousal. It just reacts fast. Sleeping well, reducing porn consumption, moving your body daily, and avoiding overstimulation all help your brain control timing instead of rushing to climax. But listen closely, because the most important piece still isn't any technique, supplement, or product. What truly determines your timing is something deeper, something men rarely talk about. Here's the truth most men never hear, and honestly, this is a part I wish every patient of mine could understand before they walk into my office. Premature ejaculation is not a sign of weakness. It is not a flaw, and it is absolutely not something you should feel ashamed of. Most men believe they're the only ones struggling with this, but as a urologist, I see this every single week. Good men, healthy men, strong men, men who take care of their families, their jobs, their responsibilities, but feel completely defeated by something happening in their own body. And here's what I tell them: this is not your fault. You didn't choose to have hypersensitive nerves. You didn't choose stress or hormonal shifts or years of bad habits that conditioned your body to finish too fast. You didn't choose genetics or overactive pathways that fire quicker than you want them to. Your body is responding exactly the way it's been trained to respond, and that means you can retrain it. You can rebuild control. You can regain timing. And you can absolutely restore confidence in the bedroom. But you won't get there by feeling embarrassed, isolating yourself, or chasing risky tricks that give you 5 minutes of relief and 5 days of irritation. Men lose hope because they think this is just how I am. But that's not true. Your nervous system can change. Your circulation can improve. Your pelvic muscles can learn control. Your mind can stop panicking. And your timing can become steady again. The most powerful progress happens when a man finally understands that this issue is treatable and that he isn't broken. He's just misinformed, misguided, trying random hacks instead of addressing the real causes. And that's why before you try anything else, before you try gels, sprays, supplements, or even techniques, you need to understand that premature ejaculation is a solvable problem when you stop hiding from it and start working with your body, not against it. Because once you take that first step, everything starts to change. And now, let me show you how to take that step, how to ask the right questions, and how to finally get the support you need starting right now. So now that you understand the truth, why premature ejaculation happens, why toothpaste only creates a temporary illusion, and what actually works for real long-term control, I want to leave you with something important. You don't have to deal with this alone. You don't have to guess, and you don't have to feel embarrassed about wanting better control, better confidence, and better intimacy. As a urologist, I can tell you this honestly: men who ask questions, men who seek real solutions, men who stop hiding the problem, they are the ones who improve the fastest. Not because they're stronger, but because they're willing to finally understand their own body. And now I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried any method, breathing, gels, exercises, even strange hacks like toothpaste to delay ejaculation? Did it help? Did it make things worse? Or are you still looking for something that finally works? Tell me in the comments. Share your experience. You'll be surprised how many other men are dealing with the exact same thing. And if you have a question about sexual health, erection quality, performance anxiety, pelvic floor control, or anything related to men's health, drop it below. I read every comment, and I answer as many as I can. And make sure you follow the channel because in the next video, I'm breaking down a method that's far more effective than toothpaste or desensitizing creams. A method backed by real research and used in clinics to help men gain control naturally. You don't want to miss it. But for now, be kind to yourself. Your body isn't failing you. You just haven't learned its language yet, and I'm here to help you do exactly that.